Hey everyone.
I'm Jane.
I'm Kitten.
As you know, my name is Pat. It's that time again. It's time for another episode of the Kinky Christian Podcast. Here we go again, people. It's the Master and Kitten show. So run if you care about your life at all. Run. This is another insane episode of the Kinky Christian Podcast. Welcome. I am Pat.
I'm Kitten.
And this is, I know we talked about it in previous episodes, and it took a little bit to get here, and it's going to take us a long while to get through all this. So we're just going to do this little by little, and it ain't going to be every episode. We're going to just do it as
sprinkle it.
Yeah, we'll sprinkle this through because it's a lot. But this is the beginning of our delve into the Bible and what it says about sex, what it says about relationships, and that kind of stuff. I say that kind of stuff because our podcast is about kinky Christians and having a great sex life while staying within the boundaries that God has set for us. So we're going to try to focus on just that, and we'll probably miss some stuff because I'm reading it and I'm trying to pick out things, and I'm like, oh, is that really relevant? Is it not relevant? So
Please don't be shy.
yeah, let us know if we miss something. We're going to just start at the beginning in Genesis.
If we miss it, if we misinterpret it, if there's other
Interpretations, if it means something different to you.
Yeah.
If it speaks differently to you, please share that with us. We really want to hear all that because we are not any kind of authority on God or the Bible.
On top of the fact that each person has their own relationship with God.
We do, which leads me to, that was a good segue. I'm sure it was unintentional, but
It was.
So the way I believe, as far as the Bible goes, I just want to kind of give you a quick background so you understand why I'm doing things this way, and Kitten may have different beliefs. But the way I believe is that if it were not for the Bible and the writings that have been found, not just the Bible, but the writings, there's other writings out there that I believe are God's word, we wouldn't know who God was. This is what tells us who God is. And if I believe in a God from this book, and this book is telling me this God is powerful enough to create everything, then for me, it would make sense that I believe that this is what he wants us to know about him, because if it wasn't, he's powerful enough to remove this. If this was not accurate, at least for the most part, he created the universe. He created everything. He could just wipe this book from existence. He could have stopped it from existing in the first place. But because it's here and because it has survived for over 2,000 years in various forms and various translations, there's been additions because, when people transcribed it, they would make notes and they kind of got added into it. But if God did not want that stuff there, or if it was going to affect how he wants us to see him, he would have got rid of it. When you're that powerful, you can kind of control what people say about you. Make sense? Bless you.
Ooh.
Does that make sense? I mean, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So that's why I believe in what the Bible tells us. Now, again, it was written by man, so of course there's going to be things that are off, things that maybe don't make sense, or places where it may contradict itself. But
On top of the many translations that
exactly,
aren't
And when you look at the actual writings that we got this from, some are Greek, some are Hebrew. You know, we didn't like find just the Bible and translate it. We found all these different writings from different times. And so there is going to be a lot of things that maybe don't make sense or contradict each other. But I don't believe God is worried about that as much as us getting the gist of what it is. And in my opinion, what it is it's God's way of revealing himself to us so we can have that personal relationship with him.
Yeah.
So we're not here to argue the semantics of it all or say, well, it contradicts itself. First of all, I mean, it's a love story. It's God's story to us to show how much he loves us and what he does for us. And as we all know, love is so contradictory to itself anyway. When you love someone, you tend to hurt them. That doesn't make any sense to me. You know, that's why they always say you hurt the ones you love. So yes, it is confusing, it's contradictory, but understand that overall, I believe it is what God is wanting us to know, to have. It's a foundation for us to have a relationship, a one-on-one relationship with him. So I'm not one that says, oh, every word in the Bible is, God's exact, even God's, it's inspired. It's God's inspired word, translated by man over the years. But if God wanted it gone, if he did not believe it represented him well enough for us to develop the relationship with him, he would have wiped it. So that's my view on the Bible. I wanted you to know that before we get going, so you understand where I'm coming from when I read these things and talk about them, as I do believe it. So we're going to start in Genesis, which Genesis has a lot to say about relationship, not as much to say about sex, but about the relationship between man and woman. And when I say relationship, it doesn't really, at the beginning of it all, it doesn't really talk about like marriage, because there was just Adam and Eve.
Yeah, there wasn't marriage.
There wasn't like marriage per se. But at some point, I don't remember exactly when, it switches and it doesn't say marriage, but it starts saying, so-and-so took so-and-so as his wife. So at some point, marriage came into the picture. But at the beginning, maybe it does. It actually does. I'm sorry. I was mistaken. It doesn't talk about marriage, but it does talk about wife. So let me clear that up. I knew there was something I wanted to say. Keep me in line, kitten.
That's a hard job, Master.
And it's full time.
Yes.
So the first time the Bible mentions anything about the relationship between a man and woman is in Genesis 2. And it actually starts, when it talks about it, it starts in chapter.
We're tired.
We're still, yeah.
Yeah.
But in verse 24. But I don't like the people who just take a verse and give it to you and then try to make you.
That's not very nice. You don't like how people. Not that you don't like the people.
Yeah. What did I say? I don't like people?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do like people. I love people. I don't always like people. I love people. I don't always like them. But I'm not a fan of when someone gives you a verse and just gives you that verse. That verse can be something that has nothing to do with what they're trying to convince you of. So I like to go back and read the context of the verse. And so the first verse that jumped out to me was verse 24. It says, "That is why a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh." And then verse 25 says, "Adam and his wife were both naked, and they felt no shame." So that is what's out there. Now you can take that for what it's worth, but I want to go back a few verses and tell you why this is even mentioned and what it's all about. So this all takes part in Adam. You know, he's in the garden. He's named all the animals. He's, you know, having fun, you know, romping around Free Willy and having a great time, right? He's got his dog, because dog is man's best friend. He's you know, probably, I'm guessing there was no cats in the Garden of Eden because it was perfect. I think cats are something that were put on earth after the fall, but that's my own opinion. That opinion is not shared by everyone in this room right now, just so you know. I love cats. I love my kitten. For those of you listening, I'm getting the death stare from Kitten. She,
Yeah. Keep going, Master.
you're gonna have Ralph attack me later, aren't you? Mm-hmm. So there's Adam, and God's
Free Willy and all.
Free Willy and all. See, so if a cat was around, he could not run around Free Willy because that cat would do the whole catapult
And he would have earned every scratch.
that would have been bad.
Yeah, it would have been brilliant.
You think so?
Yeah. He might have even enjoyed it. I mean,
Some,
who
you know,
knows?
some people juggle geese.
That's right.
So,
You don't know if Adam was a kingster or not.
oh, I know he was. He had to be. He was running around naked. That's kind of kinky, isn't it?
In some cultures, yes.
Exactly. So right there, Adam's kinky,
All right.
and his wife. They were both naked.
They're naked.
So
They're just hippies.
they're hippies. That's a good way to look at it. Adam and Eve, the original hippies. So God is watching this, and so we're going to back up to verse 18. And as he's watching this, something is like bugging him. And he says, the Lord God said, "It is not good for man to be alone. I will make a helper suitable for him." Now the Lord God had formed out of the ground all the wild animals and all the birds in the sky. He brought them to the man to see what he would name them. And whatever the man called each living creature, that was its name. So the man gave names to all the livestock, the birds in the sky, and all the wild animals, which is why cats weren't there. But that's something else we'll talk about later.
They're in this group.
As in the wild animals, that's kittens were wild animals. Everyone knows that. You ever watch it? I love kittens. Kittens are great. I think cats should have like a 1-year lifespan, because that's when they stop being cute.
No. Keep moving.
Okay. But for Adam, no suitable helper was found, because even the cats couldn't, which is sad because dogs are a great helper. So the Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep, and while he was sleeping, he took one of the man's ribs and then closed up the place with flesh. Then the Lord God made a woman from the rib he had taken out of the man, and he brought her to the man. The man said, "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, for she was taken out of man." And then we have, that is why. What you got that look like?
Whoa, man.
Whoa, man. And I know, right? Whoa, man.
Sorry.
I agree. No, you are correct. That's what I said when I saw you. So that is why a man leaves his father and mother and is united to his wife, and they become one flesh, because she was taken from his flesh. So
She was created from his flesh.
yes, so they reunite as flesh. So that's where you get the first little bit of relationship, and that is why they come together as one flesh. Mm-hmm. It's a reuniting of sorts. So that's the first mention I could find of anything. Anything you want to say on this, kitten?
No, I think I've beaten you up enough.
Well, I mean, I'm just joking. I love, honestly, I do. I love all animals. I may not like all animals, but I love all animals. I mean, I don't wish harm on anybody or anything. I just say kittens are cute and cats are buttholes. You can't argue that point
Hey.
now. Now, can you? Kittens are cute.
No, I can't argue that point. And then you told me that I was supposed to.
You are in charge of the technology here.
All
kitten.
right, so.
So we need to go now. We're going to go to Genesis 3.
Oh, yeah.
You just hit the little arrow, right?
I could,
Okay. Or you can do it that way.
or I could do it that way.
Okay.
I'm the
So-
one in IT.
You are. So in Genesis 3, we're going to go to verse 16. Okay? Now, in this is when cats were made. This is when cats were created. And it says right here in Genesis 3,
You're
6,
talking about me. You're making my nose itch.
Genesis 3:16. To the woman he said, because you ate of the fruit, there shall be cats on this earth to cause havoc.
You know my view.
I know, but anyway,
You know how I feel about that. Liars are gonna burn in hell.
I know.
You're burning
I'm
profusely
burning.
right now. You are
It is
burning.
getting a little warm in here.
Yeah.
So, if you knew how much of a cat person she was, you would understand
Am.
why I will. Yeah, and
Not was.
yeah, are
Am.
I can't say how much of a cat person
I
you
am. You are.
I am not a cat person.
Listen.
You would understand why I'm afraid to go to sleep tonight. She lets our cat sleep with us, and he's a butthole named Ralph. He's a butthole to everyone but you, and you know it.
I love my Ralph.
I know. So, chapter 16 chapter 16. Why do I keep calling it chapter? Chapter 3, verse 16.
Because you're too busy
Talking about cats?
talking smack about my kitty.
Cat smack?
Keep moving. Stay on target.
Stay on target. So, verse 16, he says, to the woman he said, I will make your pains in childbearing very severe. With painful labor you will give birth to children. Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you. So, why you give me that look? I'm not even talking about cats.
Nope. Nope. This verse just takes me off. But
Why does
continue.
it? No, talk to me. Why does it
No,
tick
I
you?
want to hear what you have to say first.
Well, I just want to know why it ticks you off. What is it about it that ticks you off?
First off, Adam, who is supposed to be the leader, didn't do his job as the leader.
Oh, I agree 100%.
So I don't agree with God's decision, and we are going to have a conversation when I get there.
Why are you not going to agree? What about his decision do you not like?
I don't agree that with that whole verse. You know, why is it that, first off, you want us to procreate?
Mm-hmm.
That was his desire. He wanted us to procreate.
Mm-hmm.
So now, because the man didn't do what he was supposed to do,
And neither did the woman.
and neither did the woman, but you're supposed to be the leader.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's
you're
the-
making it painful for us to have children.
Mm-hmm.
What woman in their right mind is going to want to have children when they know it's going to hurt?
You had 4.
Yeah,
The world is vastly populated.
it is.
So I would say there's a lot of them.
But why would you want to do that? That irritates me to no end. Not only that, but then he turns around and he's like, you're going to be desiring your husband. It just throws it out there like your husband's not going to want you. You're just going to be another piece of whatever. So that's how that's being eluded. And then he's going to rule over you. Like you have, as the wife, you have no say whatsoever. There's no equality in that
No.
relationship at all.
You don't think so?
Nope.
Because if you read what he does to the guy, it's pretty cursed is the ground because of you. So because of us, the ground is cursed. So for us to just survive,
You aren't having pain. Where's your
No.
pain?
through painful toil, you will eat food from it all the days of your life. It will produce thorns and thistles for you, and you will eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your brow, you will eat your food until you return to the ground. So, because we screwed up and we got to now feed you,
Oh, heaven forbid.
we have to go out and work the ground now that is going to produce nothing but crap.
Didn't. Yeah.
I think there is a lot. I mean, think about it. The woman's pain is during childbirth.
Correct. Well, and the rest of our lives as we raise children.
Our pain is every day of our lives if we want to eat.
And you think that being a mother is not painful every
Yeah, we
day
still have
of
to be
our
a
life?
father too.
You're out there in the field. We're out here raising these babies.
Until they're like 3.5, and then we got to take them out to the field to start working the ground because otherwise they ain't eating either. So
I'll give you 4.
I think there was plenty of punishment to go around here.
It's just, this whole line here just makes me feel like,
So, I mean, and it all depends on what version you read when it says your desire will be for your husband and he will rule over you. There are some versions that say that, because you know how women can get bossy?
no, not
No,
at all.
never, right?
No.
But women will want to, kind of take over and lead, but the man is set to lead. It can be, there's a lot. I've never gone back and actually read. I don't know if this was found in Greek or Hebrew. This, as old as this was, it's probably Hebrew. But ultimately, the whole point of this is that the man is going to be the head of the household. The man is going to rule, and that it's designed, in my opinion, to kind of aggravate women in a sense because we were supposed to, be there together,
And we done
and
messed up.
we both kind of dropped the ball, and so we both pay a price, But because men and women are different and have different responsibilities within the relationships, we suffer different consequences.
Which could be why that bugs me so much, because it's about the emotional aspect of it.
Right.
You're going to desire for your husband, and you're basically like your husband isn't going to desire you. That's how I interpret that.
Oh, no, yeah.
And-
I don't, he doesn't ever say anything about your husband not desiring you. That's why I think it really doesn't mean like desire, like love
Like I
and
want
sexually.
you.
Yeah. I think it really comes down to something else. And I would have to go back and really research the original text that it came from to see what words they use. But even that, the original text could have been translated from something else and something else. I mean, it can mean so many things, but I think the gist of it is God just wants us to know it's going to be painful to have kids, and your husband's going to be the leader no matter what, And for the guy, you're
You're gonna
gonna
be
you're
busting
gonna
your
you're gonna
butt.
toil all your life. And if you look throughout history, men have just worked and worked and worked and worked. Now, not that women haven't worked too,
Right.
but because the man physically was designed to do that, whereas the woman was physically. I mean, you look at the way God designed us, and it's perfect for His design the way He made it.
Right.
We screwed it up, and now here we are paying the price.
Well, and the interesting part is that he addresses the women through emotions
Because
and
women
the
generally
men
are emotional creatures, and
through
men
the physical.
through the physical, the logical, the work.
Yep.
Because that's what hits each. And he knew.
Yeah.
You know, he knew.
Well, duh, he
if I'm gonna,
created us.
if I'm gonna get her, this is what's gonna get her. And if I'm gonna get him, this is what's gonna get him. So, yeah. So he knew. You know. Now we're gonna
Do you want
back
to go
this
up or
up.
down?
Well, we're going to back this up because this whole thing happened because of the whole eating of the fruit. And
How far you want to go back?
it doesn't have, that's fine for now. But it all happened because of the fruit. And like you said, when this happened, when they ate the fruit, a lot of people want to look at Eve and say, oh, it was her, you know.
Fault.
And it was. It was her who did it.
Yeah, they both did it.
However, when you look at the story, it says the woman gave some to her husband who was with her.
Yeah.
It's not like she ran off on her own and, you know, Adam's like, well, she must have gone to the grocery store, you know.
Well, in my viewpoint is that he did not. He failed to protect her.
He did. He failed to protect them both,
Yeah.
you know.
I probably shouldn't back away from the microphone.
No, you got to stay kind of close
Yeah.
because the more you get back, the less people hear you.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did. He failed.
Yeah, he failed.
He failed, and in my opinion, it was his failure that led to her bad decision. Because at any time, either one of them could have stopped it. Now, up until this point, if I remember correctly, and I wish I would have thought about this until it just popped in my head now, I don't believe that God had made Adam the leader yet. I think Eve was his helper, but the word that they use for helper, God refers to himself as our helper. You know, it's more of a partnership. So I don't think that God actually told Adam, "You're the leader of this,"
Until after.
until here where he says, "Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you." You know. So I would have to go back and read it, but I don't recall God ever saying, you know, he always called Eve the helper. In fact, she didn't even get her name until
after this.
this. It was just woman,
Yeah.
you know. So
Yep.
anyway, when we back this up and we look at the story, Adam and Eve were together. You know, Adam failed. Whether he was a leader or not, he failed to do the right thing, and they both did. You know, the temptation was there, and when Eve was saying, "Come on, we should do this. We'll be fine," Adam just kind of, well, God said no. Instead of saying, no, we need to go. We need to get out of this situation. He just kind of played dumb there for a little bit. And then when it was all said and done, you know, what did he do?
Threw her under the bus.
Yeah. Not only did he throw her under the bus, he blamed God.
Yeah.
The woman that you gave me.
Bad move.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you want to play alpha?
Exactly. Because so after they ate and they heard God, they hid, and God asked them, you know, why are you hiding? And they're like, well, we heard you and we're afraid because we're naked. And he's like, well, who told you? And he says, have you eaten from the tree? And in verse 12, the man said, the woman you put here with me, she gave me some fruit from the tree and I ate it. So right away, God places blame on someone else,
Someone else's.
and then he throws his woman under the bus.
Rude.
Rude. And so God said, the woman, what is this you have done? And what did she do? She blamed someone else too. Anyway, we're getting off track. So the Lord curses the serpent. And that's when he kind of outcasts the serpent. I'm going to make you, you're going to crawl on the ground all your life, and people are going to step on you and squash you and all that. And that's when he then turns to Adam and Eve and deals out the punishment there.
No punishment.
There was no punishment there. So anyway, I don't want to make these long. And I don't want to take up all your time. We appreciate the time you give us while you're listening. So we're going to stop there. And we will, like I said, we'll just keep going through the Bible, giving you our little takes on it. And if you got some more information, some different views, if you want to share something with us, feel free to reach out to us. You can email us, the Kinky Christian Podcast at gmail.com. You can leave a comment below.
Facebook.
We have a Facebook page, the Kinky Christian Podcast on Facebook. Like and subscribe there. Like and subscribe here. And yeah, these are just things we're going to sprinkle in as we go. We're going to try to do a little bit of this and still do episodes on other things that are kind of cool and fun.
So the takeaway is that God intended for us to have relationship.
Yes.
And we screwed it up.
Yes.
So right out of the bat, the
Or we
foundation of relationships is rocky.
Yeah, exactly. Because what did we do right when we got busted?
We threw each other under the bus.
Threw each other under
we
the
didn't
bus.
even support each other.
There was no support. There was no, yeah, we did it and we're sorry. There was no, and I think all that still carries through to today.
I think it does.
When people get busted, instead of saying, my bad, I'm sorry.
How can I make it right?
How can I make it right? What can I do to fix this situation? What can I do to make my part right?
Yeah.
We're like, it wasn't me. I feel like Shaggy.
Right?
Wasn't me. So, yeah, you are right. From the very beginning.
It's very heartbreaking.
And the foundation of our relationship with God was broken. Because, one, we didn't listen to him when he was trying to give us the best life that we could have.
We didn't trust him.
We did not trust him.
Did not.
Trusted the serpent instead.
Yep. Who we didn't even know.
We didn't even know. And think about this. Who do we believe most of the time now? The internet.
Serpent.
Yeah.
The little whispers.
The little whispers. The internet. You believe anything you read on the internet. And instead of researching and finding out, we just take it for face value and run. And then when something screws up, it's someone else's fault.
Yep.
So, yeah.
My heart hurts right now.
Sad.
It is.
And it's hard because I believe we have an amazing relationship.
And it was broken.
Huh?
And it was broken.
Well, but it's been broken numerous times, and it will still continue to break and crack. But even in our relationship, there are times when you have to be intentional about taking control of your emotions, Yeah. Because you let your emotions get involved and they can make you want to do things that are not healthy and productive to the relationship. It's always a work in progress, and it was never meant to be. It's always so much easier just to say screw it and walk away.
Yeah.
It's always easier.
May
But
not financially easier, but
no, but it's not going to be a happier, healthier, better decision.
correct.
The easy decision very rarely leads to happiness and joy and health. You know, the harder decision is going to lead you to that, but the joy and everything you get out of it is well worth it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, Master.
So, good points. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Thank you.
This is why I keep her around and titty sprinkles. But anyway, so we will come back again sometime in the future and we'll continue on. There is a lot of talk in the Bible, and you are not always going to agree with everything that's in the Bible.
And that is okay.
And that, well, that's up to you. We're not here to convince anyone to be Christian or to follow anything we say. We are here to share our journey.
Educate.
And,
Educate.
well, and educate as much as we can.
Yeah.
But understand that we believe in the Bible. And there are even things in the Bible that, because we're human, we're like, oh, really? That sucks. And we don't want to believe it. We don't want to follow it. We don't want to do it. It's very difficult because there are things in the Bible that may go against something that you believe personally. But you got to understand that this is God's inspired word. And this is, if we follow this, it's going to give us the best possibility at our best life possible. So we're going to share everything. Some of it may be touchy subjects, and just understand we're just sharing the Bible and our beliefs with you.
Touchy.
Huh?
Touchy.
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 Touchy-feely. So take
I
it for
like
what
touchy.
it's worth, and make your own decisions. Research it yourself. I don't think the Bible was I really don't believe you need to be a theologian to understand the Bible, because I think God knew if you think about it, the vast majority of the people at the time stuff was even written couldn't even read.
Right.
So I don't believe that he ever intended us to have to study the history of everything to get what we need out of it. That's why I don't think he's as concerned with translations and this, that, and the other. I think he just wants you to get the foundation of what the relationship with him is supposed to be. Because he knew 99% of us will never go back and study theology. We'll never go back and study. Heck, 500 years ago, you couldn't. If you weren't at a place that had historical documents, you didn't know nothing. But the Bible's always there. And I think when the Bible references things, I think the Bible references itself. So that way you have things there to reference. So just my view. Take it for what it's worth. But anyway, that was our first step in our journey through the Bible on love, sex, and relationships. The biblical way.
The biblical way.
Yeah. So until next time, everybody, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and God bless.